Hey everybody, Ace Channel Liam here and welcome to another episode of Form Fight. Form Fight is a series where we take a look at a Pokemon with more than one form, or a branched evolution, or a counterpart Pokemon. We have a look at the differences between those Pokemon and try and work out which one is the best. And so we can see these Pokemon in action on the battlefield. We also have a metronome battle between those Pokemon just for a little bit of fun. If you're a fan of Form Fight and you're ready for more, make sure you hit the like button, show you're enjoying this series, and of course, hit subscribe if you're new so you never miss an episode. With all that out the way, let's have a look at today's challenges. On Form Fight today, we're going to be taking a look at the two forms of Steelix, which are Steelix and Mega Steelix. Now, of course, when you have a Steelix in your party, it will always be in its regular form. However, a Steelix holding Steelixite will be able to Mega Evolve into Mega Steelix during a battle and will remain that way for the entirety of that battle. But what makes these two forms of Steelix so different? Let's take a look. According to the Pokedex, regular Steelix is 9.2 meters long and weighs 400 kilograms. Whereas Mega Steelix is 10.5 meters long and weighs 740 kilograms. Both these Pokemon share a Pokedex entry which reads, Steelix lives even further underground than Onix. This Pokemon is known to dig towards the Earth's core. There are records of this Pokemon reaching a depth of over 6/10 of a mile underground. Appearance-wise, both resemble snakes made of some kind of rocky material, except Mega Steelix has extra minerals orbiting its head, bright crystals sticking out of its body and tail, and a bit of a beard, I guess. In their shiny forms, both versions of Steelix simply swap out their silver coloring for gold, which is lovely. Now let's have a look at the typing, weaknesses, and resistances of these Steelix forms. Both these Pokemon have the same typing and are dual-type Steel and Ground Pokemon. This makes them both weak to Fighting, Ground, Fire, and Water-type moves, whilst they both resist Normal, Flying, Rock, Bug, Steel, Psychic, Dragon, and Fairy-type attacks, and both forms of Steelix are completely immune to Poison and Electric-type moves. Now let's have a look at the stats and abilities of these two Pokemon forms. Steelix is a huge physically defensive Pokemon, boasting 200 base defense. It has decent attack and HP, below average special attack and special defense, and is a very slow Pokemon. Its primary ability is Rock Head, which prevents recoil damage from moves used by Steelix. This is a hugely useful ability for Steelix when you consider the sheer amount of recoil moves Steelix can learn. Get ready, because I'm about to list them. Double Edge. Yeah, it's a pretty crap ability for Steelix. Its secondary ability is Sturdy, which allows Steelix to remain on a single hit point if it's at maximum HP and hit by a move that would have knocked it out in a single hit. This is of course a fantastic ability for Steelix, since it allows some protection from its lackluster special defense. Its hidden ability is Sheer Force, which powers up moves with additional effects whilst removing those additional effects. This of course causes key moves for Steelix like Iron Tail, Crunch, and Rock Slide to gain a little bit of added power. Add in a Life Orb for good measure and this thing can dish out some disgusting punishment. As for Mega Steelix, just like most Mega Evolutions, it builds on Steelix's stats, and in this case it gives it a 30 base power increase in both its defense and special defense, and an even bigger increase to its physical attack. Do not take this Pokemon lightly. Its only ability is Sand Force, which increases the power of Rock, Ground, and Steel type moves used by Steelix by 30% if a Sandstorm is in effect. Of course, this is handy for giving Mega Steelix even more power, but it does mean either wasting a turn on Sandstorm or having an ally call in the Sandstorm, unless they've got the Sandstream ability. Plus, most of Steelix's best moves have additional effects, so Sheer Force probably would have been a more useful ability for the Mega Evolution. Now it's time for me to decide which of these two forms of Steelix I prefer, and honestly, I'm gonna go with the regular this time. I do think that Mega Steelix looks quite a lot cooler, like I really like the crystals that are sticking out of it and the kind of stuff orbiting it's really cool, but at the same time, I don't like its ability. I get how useful its ability can be, but at the same time, I just think Sheer Force would have been better. Like if it was up to me, I would use a Steelix with either Sturdy or Sheer Force over the Mega. I know the Mega is bulkier, and I know the Mega has higher attack, and I get that, and I understand that, but at the same time, it's so conditional on a Sandstorm being in effect, and that means that it's only really useful on a Sand team, and nowhere else, and that's what bothers me. I like Pokemon that I can put on any team and kind of find a use for, whereas Mega Steelix doesn't allow for that. You have to have it on a Sand team because you've got to have somebody to set the Sandstorm up in order for its ability to take effect. I don't see the point. But of course, it's not just up to me, it's up to you guys to decide which is your favorite. But before you do, before you make any kind of decision, let's see these Pokemon in action on the battlefield. It's time for the Metronome battle. Before we get into the battle, I will point out these Pokemon have max IVs in all stats, 0 EVs in all stats, they're not holding any held items, they've got neutral natures, they're also the same typing, so the only advantage or disadvantage anybody in this battle gets comes from their base stats. Everything else is all up to the Metronome. Let's go. Here it is, a heavily requested form fight, Steelix versus Mega Steelix, the battle of the Iron Snakes. Make sure you hit like on this video, because I finally gave you what you wanted. Here we go. It's a speed tie, so anyone can start this off. It's going to be Shiny Steelix, though, that beautiful golden boy, going for Bite. On the Shiny Mega, we're going to struggle to see things. Everybody's so big. Tiny little bit of damage there. Here comes Regular Mega with an Overheat, though. Super effective move from the get-go. A special attack, no less, onto Shiny Regular Steelix, dropping more than half its maximum HP. That's amazing. What a start for the Mega team. Here's Shiny Mega with an Ice Beam. That is going to be neutral because obviously Steel resists, but Ground is weak. And taking a decent amount of damage, these special attacks are just absolutely monstrous. Acid Spray isn't going to affect the opposing Shiny Mega Steelix because, of course, it's a poison type move and poison doesn't affect steel types. Here we go. Regular Steelix gets another opportunity, goes for Uproar. It is going to be resisted and does a tiny little bit of chip damage, and it is locked into that. That's very, very unfortunate. Here we see Shiny Steelix. What will it do here? It's going to go for Whirlwind, but it's going to fail because nobody can be blown out of this battle, unfortunately. For these teams. They probably want to get rid of one of these Megas, but there goes the smackdown from the Shiny Mega onto the Shiny Regular Steelix for barely any damage there. These Pokemon are so defensively bulky. It's special attacks or nothing here. We get a Stone Edge. Look how little that Stone Edge did from regular Mega onto Shiny Steelix. Just absolutely nothing. Here we see the Uproar continuing to do tiny bits of chip damage from the Regular Steelix onto the Regular Mega, who is going to fire back with a Sky Attack, I mean, by all means, so it's going to just chill out with a little wing animation this turn, and then come back to deal not very effective damage on the next turn. Fair play. Shiny Mega, what's it got in store? It's going to go for Stealth Rock, which is completely pointless in these kinds of battles, but you know what? Why not throw more minerals out there? There's just not enough minerals on screen right now. Shiny Steelix, what have you got in store for us here? What are you going to go for? Going to go for Dazzling Gleam. That is going to be resisted by both the Megas, but again, a special attack. Didn't do a lot of damage, though. It's worth noting, but then Mega Steelix has a much better special attack stat. Here's the Uproar once again, doing a tiny little bit of damage. Did I say special attack? I meant special defense. Mega Steelix, specially bulky compared to its non-Mega counterpart. Here's a Mirror Shot, though, from the Shiny Regular Steelix, doing a tiny bit of damage there to the Regular Mega. The Steelix team needs something super effective if they're going to take down these Megas. Here's a Dragon Claw. Again, it will be resisted, though, and it's a tiny bit of damage because of the lack of offensive power compared to the amount of defensive power that these Pokemon have. Here's the Sky Attack, going to be resisted. Decent amount of damage for a not very effective move, but there you go. It was a critical hit, that's why. Oh my goodness, the Uproar has ended for Regular Steelix, which is good for the Steelix team. It means they can start building more variety in their moves. Here's a Synchronize, though, which is going to hit everybody on the field for some not very effective damage, bringing Shiny Steelix down into the red, though, from that Regular Mega. And here comes Shiny Mega with the follow-up. What's it going to do now? It's going to go for Drain Punch. That will be super effective. Is it enough? It takes down Shiny Steelix. We're down to 1 Steelix versus 2 Megas. It's a very one-sided affair right now, and of course the HP is drained due to that Drain Punch, so a little bit more HP restored for the Shiny Mega. My goodness, what's Steelix going to do here? Don't use Uproar, mate. Don't do that. Goes for Dizzy Punch. It's going to be resisted. Tiny bit of damage there to the Regular Mega, but nothing significant. It's all Mega Steelix right now. Here's Shiny Mega. What will it do here? It's going to go for Explosion. It's going to blow itself up for the sake of a not very effective attack. Oh my goodness. It does a decent amount of damage to both Regular Steelix and Mega Steelix. I just realized you can't see it because the HP bar is hidden by Steelix's fat head, but you just have to deal with that. And here he comes with the retaliation. All you need to know is he's not dead right now. Going for the conversion, though, which is going to change it to a normal type. That's a risky play. You just dropped 7 resistances, mate. Are you insane? I did drop 3 weaknesses, though. A Sacred Sword comes out from the, oh my god, from the Mega onto the regular, bringing it down into the red. You can hear that it's in the red from that alarm noise. Steelix, you need an opportunity here. You need to heal or you need to destroy. You've only got 1 shot here. Goes for Dark Pulse. Is it going to be enough to flinch the Mega, though? It's not going to flinch the Mega. This could be the deciding move. What's it going to be? It's going to be Hydro Pump, and it's going to hit. That's super effective. That is a knockout. That easily. Down goes Steelix, and the Megas have taken it. Absolutely dominant. That clutch explosion was fantastic. Well done to the Mega team. What an amazing battle. So you've heard what I've got to say, you've seen these Pokemon on the battlefield, now it's time for you to make your decision. Which of these 2 forms of Steelix do you prefer? Is it regular Steelix or Mega Steelix? Let me know in the comments below and explain to everybody why your pick is the absolute best. And that's where I'm going to leave this episode of Form Fight. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to support the channel like these wonderful people down here do, pledge to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/AceTrainerLiam. And for live streams 5 days a week, head over to twitch.tv/AceTrainerLiam. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.